Well, hello everybody. It's Brother Todd with your Victory Minute, and I hope you guys and gals out there are all having a great day. I'm standing off the side of a little old Sudan patch here, and to tell you the truth, I was about to fly my little drone over it. And I brought this thing with me this morning to fly over this field to see if it's maybe getting ready to be cut. We got some other stuff that we could kind of kill two birds with one stone. I was kind of thinking about that, and I pulled up my little fancy dancy drone, and I was going to fly it around over it. And then this morning, right before I had a meeting, let me lay this thing down, else I'll be driving you nuts with it. My partner, my cattle partner, Brandon, there at our church, he sends me a picture of him standing in the field, holding up a blade of Sudan, showing me, hey, preacher, this stuff's getting pretty tall. We better get it cut. Well, as soon as he did, I got to thinking about a principle. The principle is something I'd like to call the principle of closeness. The principle of closeness. There's no substitute for being close. There's no substitute for getting down, getting dirty, and getting your hands on something. And you say, well, Brother Todd, how in the world does that apply to me? Well, guys, I want to tell you something. It applies to you in your work. It applies to you in your world. And it applies to you in your witness. Now, Solomon said to be diligent to look after your flocks. He said, look well to the ways of your herd. There's nothing like being engaged in the things you're involved in, whether it's your work, your business, whether it's something like with me, with agriculture and the cows. It's something I just like to do on the side, try to make a little vacation money on it at the side. I have to tend the church. I have to look after things. Whatever you're involved in with your work, there's nothing like you being there. If you are the employer, there is nothing like you walking through the place, okay? There's nothing like you being attentive, knowing what's going on with the books. I mean, like there at our church, the last thing you want me doing is adding 2 + 2, because I seem to always come up with 3 or 5. But the reality is I have to stay on top of those things. I have to keep myself well versed and well informed, because it's where you notice little changes. When you're close to something, then you can respond to the little changes before they become big problems. Now, that same principle, while Solomon, when he was talking there in Psalms 27, is primarily talking about your work, it also talks about your world. And what I mean by your world is not the world or the great, systems of the human population. I'm talking about the world you and I live in. Who's your wife? Who's your husband? Who's your kids? What's going on with your friends? There's nothing like being close to them. And we have to watch it in this day to day, just like me and you are communicating through technology. I can't keep up with cows and hay and all this just simply with this technology. I've got to be able to get down and get dirty and get close. If you're raising kids, there is nothing, let me put that back up there. There is nothing like being close to them so that you notice the subtle changes. We live in this very busy world. Parents have fallen into this trap of, I'm gonna try to be very intense while I'm with the kids. Well, if you're raising teenagers and you come in and you haven't been around them, but you wanna engage them, well, how do you do that and it not be artificial? Because if you just walk in the door and you start asking a bunch of questions, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about people in general. People don't like questions. People don't like questions. At best, your teenagers you're just going to get on their nerves. At worst, they're just going to flat lie to you. There's nothing like just being near to where you pick up in the subtleties of their mood. You cannot have a strong marriage and you and your husband, you and your wife, not be close, not be doing things together. You can't live 2 separate lives Monday to Friday and try to be close on Saturday. I'm telling you, you say, Brother Todd, it's hard. He works nights, I work days. Hey, well, I tell you what, then meet each other for breakfast. But stay engaged. Stay engaged. People's heart stays close to the things they're close to. And you can pick up on the little nuances. I used to tell people, and I don't mean this the wrong way to my kids, but a lot of God gives us a lot of things in the world that we can look at and learn from. And I tell people, I say, look, it's like when I used to run a bunch of horses. I was with them things all the time, and I kept up with them. I could just go out to feed, and I could glance over at one of them, and I knew if he wasn't feeling good, or I knew something was wrong with him, or I knew something was wrong with him. Why? Because I was around him. And just being around him, I picked up on the way he moved and those kinds of things. I'm like, that horse feeling sick. Well, he's just holding his head different. He's not walking right. It's just the little things. Well, the truth is, guys, when you're close to your kids, when you're close to your little ones, when you're close, especially those teenagers, the closer you are to them and you're just having natural life, you pick up on their flow. And then when you're eating dinner and something's off, it doesn't go too long. You look well to the way of it. Why? Because you're close. Close in the way of your witness. We all us Christians want to reach other people. Jesus died for us. We're glad for that. We know that he loves people. We love people because we're in Christ and we want to see them come to him. And I can try all this technological stuff I want, but nothing is as effective as me just talking to somebody. Nothing is as effective of me shaking somebody's hand, of being in tune with them. The principle of closeness. Now, again, I know we're trying everything we can in these days, okay? Just like me doing these victory minutes and all that kind of stuff. And it's great and it's good, but it only goes so far. You tell me what's better. Me buzzing over this field at 30 miles an hour with that drone, getting into the truck, heading back to the office. Or Brandon Taylor putting his cowboy hat on, his boots on, and walking through that field. Because back there on the back end, it's deep. And him walking around in it and moving and seeing and knowing right where it is. You tell me who's going to do a better job. You tell me who did the better job. In fact, I'm glad it was Brandon, because frankly, I just got to come out here and stand in the shade and talk to you guys. Make sense? Remember, closeness. Closeness in my work, closeness in my world, and closeness in my witness. Hey, I hope you have a great day. If you can, get to church tonight. And if you don't get to, this is Wednesday as I'm making this, if you can't come to the campus, be sure and catch us online, victorychurch.ch. And they're always telling me this, and I don't know why I just thought of it, maybe saying that email address. Be sure, like these things, subscribe these things, and forward these things. When you send them to somebody else, just about 95% of anything you send to somebody, they will watch it all the way through. Well, wherever you are, almost fell down. Wherever you are in the world, have a great, great day. Bye-bye.